Okay, assalamu alaikum guys. Now I'll be speaking about factorization by common factors. Okay, to factorize an algebraic expression, we take out the highest common factor and place it in front of the brackets. Then the expression inside the bracket is obtained by dividing each term by the highest common factor. Obviously, when we speak about maths, guys, without examples, the definitions don't really make sense. Okay, so now I'm going to try to prove this on the examples. Okay, before that, guys, just want to go through this again. These are some rules that we must always keep in mind. Okay, because these rules will never change. A plus b squared is written as a squared plus 2b plus b squared. Because if you write a plus b squared first, it is a plus b times a plus b, right? Then if you work with that, then you will get this a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Then this is the difference of two squares. Now we are familiar with this. We at least remember because one of the recent things we have done. A minus b squared equals to a squared minus 2b, okay, plus b squared. Right, then we have a plus b times a minus b equals to a squared minus b squared. So this is the difference of two squared. Sorry, I got confused. This is not the difference of two squared. The difference of two squared is that's a squared minus b squared. Because one squared is this, the other squared is this. So difference of two squared is a minus in between. Then a squared minus b squared is a plus b times a minus b. Because this is one of the methods that we have done. Factorization, because we said factorization by difference of two squares. Okay, so that is this. All right. Then we have this x minus y equals to, right, in the bracket of negative sign, y minus x. Then x plus y equals to y plus x. So this is basically, guys, like, again, x plus y. Let's say this x is 2 and y is 3. 2 plus 3 obviously equals to 3 plus 2, same thing. Negative x, negative y equals to, in the bracket, negative x plus y, because y, negative times x is negative x. When you do an inverse expression, negative times y will be negative y. Same as here, negative times y will be negative y. Negative times negative x will be positive x, because negative times negative is positive. Okay, let's move on. Now we have, okay, examples, right, for factorization. Now this example here, 7x plus 35. Since we are looking for the common factor, now we're going to find the HCF of 7 and 35. Right. The HCF is, guys, we do know that it stands for highest common factor. The highest common factor of a number, guys, we're going to write those numbers next to each other. We start dividing them, right, until we can't divide them anymore. So we'll see what is the highest factor that can divide both these numbers together. So if we do that obviously is going to be 7, because 7 is the highest common factor for 7 and 35. Right, see, 7x plus 35. So this is the expression. Now we're going to find the factors. Okay, so we said the highest common factor will be 7. Now, 7 times what will give me 7x? I'm going to do that now. Right, 7 times what will give me 35? Because one of the factors is 7. That's the highest common factor. I need to find other two factors for this expression. 7 times my expression is 7x plus 35. 7 times what will give me this? To find that, I'm going to say, I'm going to divide them by 7, since 7 is the highest common factor. 7x divided by 7 is x. Let me just write here. Okay, this is my expression, 7x plus 35. Right. So we said the highest common factor of 7 and 35 is 7. That is the HCF. Okay. Then, since one of the factors is this, the common factor is 7. Now I'm going to look for the other factor. To find that, I'm going to divide these terms by 7, since it's the common factor. So 7x divided by 7, that will be, okay, and then I'm going to say 35 divided by 7. Okay, I'm going to write it here. 7 is my common factor. 7x divided by 7 will be x. 35 divided by 7 will be positive 5. So I'm going to write it like this. Okay, so it is 7x plus 35. When we factorize it, guys, by a common factor, then my answer will be 7, which is also the highest common factor for both these numbers, and in the bracket x plus 5. Because if I do an inverse operation, it should give me the expression here. 7 times x will be 7x. 7 times 5 will be 35. Okay. So we know that a in the bracket b plus c equals to ab plus acy, because a times b is ab and a times c is ac. Okay. The reverse process, ab plus ac equals to a in the bracket b plus c. So this process is called taking out the common factor. So if you take out the common factor, then you write the other part of the expression inside the bracket. Okay, so let's move on. Okay. Right, let's do more examples here. Let us factorize 6x minus 4. Right, 6x minus 4. Since, guys, we're using the method of common factor, so I'm going to look for the common factor of, right, number 6 and 4. The common factor, the highest common factor of number 6 and number 4 is going to be, right, the HCF of, right, number 6 and 4 will be, which number is the highest common that we can multiply, divide these both numbers? It's obviously going to be number 2, right? 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 2 is 4. There is no other number that's greater than 2, the factor of both these numbers. So that's why it's 2. Now, we did say that since I know the 2 is my common factor, right? Then I'm going to do this to find the other factor. So my expression was 6x minus 4. I'm going to say 6x divided by 2 and divided by 2. Right. So and then if I do that, I'm going to write it like this. 2 is my highest common factor for 6 and 4, right? So I'm going to find the other factors by dividing 6x by 2. That will be 3x. Right? And then minus 4 divided by 2 will be 2. In other words, if we do an inverse operation, because we said this, taking the common factor out, if I do an inverse operation, I will get the expression 2 times, let's do it, 2 times 3x, so it's going to be this, and then going to be this. 2 times 3x will be 6x, 2 times negative 2 is going to be negative 4. So when we factorize this expression, so this is what we get. 2 in the bracket 3x minus 2. Okay. Okay, let's move on. There's another example here. I'm just gonna do that. 6m plus 15. Right, so I'm gonna look for the common factor first. My number here, the common factor of, obviously, I'm gonna say, just to find the highest common factor, HCF of number 6 and 15. So that is going to be what? That's going to be 3, because 3 is the highest common factor of number 6 and number 15. Since I found my common factor, then I'm going to write that. We said the rest, how do we find it? So I'm going to divide it by the highest common factor divided by highest common factor. So I'm going to write it. 6m divided by 3 it's going to be 3m, and then I'm going to say plus 15 divided by 3 is going to be 5. Sorry, 6m divided by 3 obviously is going to be 2m. 3 times 3m will be 9m. So must make that mistake. Okay. Right. Again, guys, if you do an inverse operation, you will get the expression, because the expression is now 6m plus 15. Then the factors of the expression 6m plus 15 are 3 inside the bracket 2m plus 5. Do an inverse operation, you will get the expression 3 times 2m is 6m, 3 times 5 will be 15. Okay, so this is, guys, how we do it. The first thing is we're going to find the highest common factor of the terms, and then we divide the expression by that highest common factor, we'll get the other factor. Okay. Okay, the next is going to be this. It's solved here already, right? As you can see, 4x plus 6. Right, I'm going to look for the highest common factor of 4 and 6, which is going to be 2, right? So it's going to be 2. Then I'm going to be quick about this. Then we're going to divide this by 2. 4x divided by 2 will be 2x, right? Then plus 6 divided by 2 will be 3, right? So my factors are 2 inside the bracket 2x plus 3. All right, so I'm gonna move on to next example. Right, so these ones here are solved here, as you can see. 16x plus 40. The highest common factor of 16 and 40 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 5 is 40. Then, right, so once I find the highest common factor, I'm going to divide this both terms by 8, that highest common factor, to find the other factors. So 16x divided by 8 is 2x. 40 divided by 8 is 5. So the common factor, then the factors will be 8 inside the bracket 2x plus 5. Okay. So ux times vx, what is common here? Obviously x, right? X right here. Obviously, when we write the common factor here, then what else? How do I get this? To divide it. Ux divided by x will be u, right? Vx divided by x will be v. X times, do an inverse operation. See if you get in the expression. X times u is xu or ux, same thing. X times v is xv or vx, it's the same thing. Right. So the next one is here, x squared minus x, right? What is common here is x and x. So take in out the common factor x, right? X times what give me x squared, divide x squared by x, you will see that. X squared divided by x will be x. Negative x divided by x will be negative 1. Do an inverse operation, see if you're right. X times x is x squared, x times negative 1 is negative x. Right. So this example here and this one here also are the same. I'm not gonna go through this, as you can see in the solution. Okay, I'm gonna move on to the next one. Okay, so the next one will be this. Factorize the following. Negative a to the power of 2 minus a. So what is common here? As you can see, negative a, negative a. Take the common factor out, negative a times what will give me negative a squared. To find that, I'm gonna say negative a squared divided by negative a, that will be a. So negative a divided by negative a will be obviously 1. Do an inverse operation, see if you get it right. Negative a times a will be negative a squared, negative a times 1 will be negative a. So it's as simple as that, guys. Right, let's do 16m minus 4. This question was in your test also. I'm gonna explain this. 16m minus 4. Okay. There. First thing I'm gonna look for the highest common factor of 16 and 4. right? The highest common factor of, I'm gonna write it here, HCFR, right? 16 and 4 equals to 4. Okay. Then once I find that, the rest will be easy. Okay, so I'm gonna write my common factor here. I'm gonna open the bracket. To find that, I'm gonna say, right, divided by 4, divided by 4. 16m divided by 4 is going to be 4m. 4 divided by 4 is going, negative 4 divided by 4 is going to be negative 1. Right, so for every time you get an answer, to double check the answer, right, whether you are correct, you get the correct answer or not, you can always do a reverse process, or we call it inverse operation. 4 times 4m, because when I do this, it must give me the expression. 4 times 4m is 16m. 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. That means my answer is right. So when I factorize 16m minus 4, I will get 4 inside the bracket 4m minus 1. Okay.